What's going on, y'all? Got a little surprise unboxing on a Friday. Got a box from TruTechTools. You know, I figured I had this clamp laying around that I had bought for another manifold at the other place I worked. Manifold I'd borrowed for a little while. And it was kind of lonely, so went ahead and it's already cut open because it's too awkward to do with one hand. But yeah, I went ahead and picked up a little something from TruTechTools. My order has been carefully packaged by Jim Bergman himself packed this box, so you know it's got to be good. Yeah, surprise, surprise. What we got here, orange and black. Oh yeah, we got us a Testo, baby. I'd used one before, and it was cool. There's nothing wrong with it. I just I like my S-Man because it's got everything all on one screen. The Testo, you got to scroll through to go back between superheat, subcool, line temperature, saturation and stuff. It'll show the pressure all the time, but I did like how the knobs are on the front. That's cool. Just being a simple 3-port, that's also pretty cool. Honestly, at the new place I'm working at, I've been using my analog meter, or my analog manifold, I should say. I don't think anybody's out there using an analog meter for anything anymore. But yeah, my analog manifold, more than shit, I've been leaving the S-Man in my truck, actually, not even taking it to work. So I figured, you know, $500 S-Man, and I picked this up on TruTechTools for under 170 bucks. And I think I spent 50 on that clamp whenever I got it, but I just chalked that up to already spent money, so heck with it. But here's what I did. Instead of getting the 550, I got that right there, the 549. And as far as I know, the only difference is this just doesn't do Bluetooth. I don't think, maybe it doesn't have a provision to do a vacuum anyway, but I mean, I rock that right there anyway. I'd go ahead and throw a separate vacuum gauge if I'm pulling a vacuum. So yeah, I picked this guy up. I know this is like the highly controversial thing, S-Man versus Testo, which is better, or the even more controversial, analog versus digital. Digital gauges are for hacks, right? But to be honest, I mean, at my last job, where it was like 2.5 years that I worked learning AC, started off using a analog manifold because that's what my boss gave me. Then after a few months, I kind of got interested in the digital gauges and picked up that guy right over there. This isn't the original one. I've gone through, actually, this is my third S-Man, which, sorry, field piece, but the only thing wrong with the S-Mans is this brakes right here. If you let it ride around on the van, somehow or another, when that rocks back and forth, it'll crack right back down in here. So if any of y'all out there, and I'm not the only one, I talked to some other people online, but yeah, that crap will break. So buyer beware, any new guys. Man, don't let that thing break. Just lay that sucker down. Nothing else, keep it in that padded case right there. And just kind of lay it down in the van. But yeah, this is what I like about, I mean, the sucker's way wider, and you got these ears off to the side with the clamps. I mean, it's a good place to hang them, but dang, field piece is pretty big. But you got all your information right there. Temperatures on your clamps, saturated, subcoolant, superheat, and pressure is always up there in refrigerant. That's what's cool about the S-Man. This being the 460, it's got all 4 valves and a bunch of hoses, and I mean, you're carrying around a damn life support system. But I'll argue any day of the week that that right there is not as bad as carrying analogs and you having your meter and a clamp all loosey-goosey like, you know, because that's two separate things. That's one thing. I mean, I don't know. It's not that much. It's not that much more difficult to carry one or the other, the way I see it. But mainly lately, I've been using this guy right here, the Yellow Jacket 2-valve 3-port. It's a Titan manifold, but it's the Titan 2-valve. Just simpler. It doesn't have it just has blanked off ends on it. No valves there. But I use the class 1 gauges. I really like those. They're easy to see. I think they're a little more accurate. But like I said, it's all preference. A lot of the stuff we do at the new company is like rental property, so we're like gas and go with 422D on a bunch of old Goodman RTUs for some like Section 8 stuff. And so, I mean, I'm not gonna get too crazy with it. I get the evaporator temperature above freezing, get them back cooling again. And yeah, we are running no cools in fucking Texas here, and pretty good ways into December we're still running no cools. So I figured, yeah, this right here mainly, I mean, one clamp's gonna do me. Plug it in, can get my sub cooling when we start getting into the spring and start doing system startups and doing more 410A systems. So I guess let me know what y'all think. As far as manifolds, I'll probably get a controversy going, but do y'all like analog? Y'all like using both? You all digital? Refrigeration? I got this guy right here that does 134A, or the gauges are 134A, 407C, and then 404. Refrigeration, I'm kind of more comfortable using analog gauges because I like to see what the needles are doing, if it's doing anything crazy. I know guys like NorCal and some other dudes, they'll use Testo all day long doing refrigeration calls, but for me, and it's like I said, primarily it's just because of my inexperience, I feel more comfortable using analog for refrigeration calls. But let me know what y'all think, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, party on.